Dear students, welcome to 8th standard English class. Today in this class I am going to take a lesson, The Boy Who Asked for More. The lesson, The Boy Who Asked for More, is written by Charles Dickens. This is Charles Dickens. The year 1812 to 1870. He was the greatest Victorian novelist. He is known for his attacks on the social evils like child labor and institutional cruelty. So he was a famous and also the greatest novelist, and he was written on the social evils and also the child labor, institutional cruelty, etc. His most popular works are David Copperfield, A Tale of Two Cities, Great Expectations, etc. This extract from Oliver Twist means the lesson, The Boy Who Asked for More, is the extraction of the novel Oliver Twist. It tells us how Oliver was forced out of the poorhouse. So we'll see how the boy Oliver Twist forced in the poorhouse. In the first paragraph, they have described about the birth of Oliver. Oliver was born in the poorhouse of a little country town on a cold black night in the winter of 1837. So he was born in a winter season. It was so cold time, and in the night, dark night, in the year 1837. The birth was attended by a doctor who was hastily called for the purpose, and by an old pauper woman who was experienced in such matters. Means a old pauper woman helped his birth. The mother died almost as soon as the baby took his first breath. Means after his birth, his mother was died, and that suddenly. And she was a young, good-looking woman who had been found lying in the street. So she was a young woman, and also the good-looking woman, she died after his birth. She had been found lying in the street. It was clear that she had walked some distance before she died. Her shoes had been torn to pieces. Because her shoes, it torn into pieces, we cleared that she had walked some distance before she died. Where she had come from or where she had been going, nobody knew. So no one knew in that time who is she and where she had come from and where she had been going, like that. The baby cried loudly. The baby means the Oliver. He was crying so loudly. If we could have known that he was now an orphan of a poor house, it is likely that he would have cried still louder. The baby, he did not know that he was an orphan. If he knew about that, he would have cried still louder. They called him Oliver Twist, a name invented by Mr. Bumble, the town beadle, because he could not think of any other. So the name of Oliver Twist is invented by Mr. Bumble. Mr. Bumble, he was a town beadle. Beadle means officer, because he could not think of any other. Mr. Bumble had full authority over the people of the poorhouse. So he had the full authority of the poorhouse there. He thought himself a very great man indeed. He thought himself he was a very great. He starved and ill-treated the children under his care. So the children under his care starving and ill-treating. Oliver's 9th birthday found him a pale, thin child who had hardly known a kind word or met with a kindly look. So now the Oliver he was having his birthday of 9 years. So he became very weak, pale and thin. So he was a very kind boy and he having a kindly look. His only friends were his little companions in misery, but in the end they brought him trouble. So his companions and his friends were all in that poor house, but in the end they brought him a trouble. They persuaded him to ask for more. What is the trouble? All friends, all children in that poor house, they forced him to ask for more. Ask for more means to ask more food, because they having not enough the food given by the Mr. Bumble. It happened one evening at supper time. Supper means the dinner time. The children were fed in a large stone hall with a big metal basin at one hand. So what happened? The children were stood in their large line to having the food. It was a stone hall with a big metal basin at the one hand. In the metal basin they having the food. The master stood by the basin and served each child with a small bowl of watery gruel. The master who serving the gruel means a liquid food for them. So he was serving, the master serving the food with a small bowl to the children. Boys generally have excellent appetites. Appetites means the having hungry. The boys generally they want more food to eat, but they have giving only a small bowl of watery gruel. It's not enough for them. Oliver and his companions were always hungry and never given enough to eat. So Oliver and his companions, the boys, were always hungry. They never given enough to eat in that poor house. That evening, one of the bigger boys stated quite clearly that unless he had an extra bowl of gruel, he would most certainly eat the boy who slept next to him. What happened in that evening while sleeping? A bigger boy quietly stated that unless he had extra bowl of gruel, because he wants some more gruel to eat in that time, unless he had that extra bowl of gruel, he would most certainly eat the boy who slept next to him. He ordered that to take extra bowl of gruel for him, otherwise he wanted to eat the boy who slept next to him. Like that he told to all the boys in that evening. He had a wild and hungry eye, so the smaller boys believed him. So he had the wild and hungry eye. Because of that, all the boys frightened on him, and they believed him. A council was held. So the meeting was held and council was held in that time. Oliver Twist was appointed to walk up to the master after supper and to ask for more. So they have chosen the Oliver Twist to ask some more food, some more gruel for them. Otherwise, the boy wanted to eat the next boy who's sleeping at him. So this is the line. And this is the master serving the gruel for the child, and the Oliver asking some more gruel. That is the situation picture. The gruel was served out and was quickly swallowed. Already the gruel was served out and they quickly swallowed it. They ate it. The boys whispered among themselves. The boys whispered then among themselves and forced Oliver to go and ask for some more gruel for that the bigger boy. He advanced to the master. So he slowly went up to the master, bowl in hand. He having the bowl in his hand and said, he asked a little frightened voice, In a little frightened voice, he asked the master for some more gruel. Please, sir, I want some more. The sentence is said by the Oliver Twist to the master. He asking the some more gruel. The master was fat, healthy man, but he turned very pale at this. What? He said. The master was very fat and healthy man, but he turned pale of that boy's voice. What? He replied. As if he could not believe his ears. Please, sir, I want some more. Again, the Oliver asked that master, please give some more gruel. The master aimed a blow at his head, seized him by his arms, and shouted for the beadle. Mr. Bumble rushed into the room in a great excitement and was filled with horror when he heard the Oliver's cry. Asked for more, he exclaimed, I never heard of such a thing. Depend on it, this miserable boy will be hung. So what happened? Master became very angry with the Oliver Twist because he asked some more gruel. So what happened? He aimed to blow at his head and seized him by his arms and shouted for the beadle. In that time, the beadle who? The Mr. Bumble. He rushed into the room with a great excitement and was filled with horror when he heard the Oliver's crime. So they thought that was a crime, asking some more gruel. So that type of house it was, the poor house. Asked for more, he exclaimed. Who? Mr. Bumble. I never heard of such a thing. Depend on it, this miserable boy will be hung. So he ordered to hang the Oliver Twist. He said that I never heard such a thing. Depend on it, this miserable boy will be hung. As a punishment for his greed and boldness, Oliver was immediately locked in a room to spend the night alone. So because of that cruelty, what is the cruelty? Asking some more gruel, asking some more food, it is a cruelty. So they have given a punishment for him because of his greed and boldness. So they locked him in a room to spend the night alone. Early next morning, a notice was pasted on the outside of the gate offering a reward of 5 pounds to any man or woman who would take Oliver Twist off the hands of the poorhouse. So what happened the next day? They pasted a notice on the outside of the gate. What was the notice? Offering a reward of 5 pounds to any man or woman who would take Oliver Twist off the hands of the poorhouse. Who want Oliver Twist, a boy, to carry from that poorhouse, they having the offer of reward rupees 5 pounds. A coffin maker came to know about the notice and bought the orphan boy from the poorhouse. A coffin maker was there in that time. He came and saw the notice and brought the orphan boy from the poorhouse. There also he was treated cruelly. So in the house of the coffin maker, there also he treated very cruelly. So he ran away to London. From the house of a coffin maker, he ran to London. There he faced further difficulties. There also he faced the further difficulties. However, by chance, he met 2 kind people, Mr. Burnlaw and Miss Rosie Malley. There these kind people also discovered that he was their own relative and had to be protected from his stepmother, Mr. Monks. Mr. Monks had planned to take away Oliver's share of property, but with Mr. Burnlaw's help, Oliver got his rightful share of the property and lived happily. This is the end of the story. What happened? From the coffin maker's house, Oliver ran away to London. And then what happened? There also he faced so many difficulties. By chance he met two kind people there, Mr. Brownlow and as Miss Rosie Malley. They helped him to search and discover their relatives, and they had to be protected from his stepbrother, Mr. Monks. And Mr. Monks had planned to take away Oliver's share of property. But with Mr. Brownlow's help, Oliver got his rightful share of the property and lived properly. So this was the story about the boy who asked for more. It is the extraction of the novel Oliver Twist, written by Charles Dickens. Dear students, I hope you all got this. Thank you.